Hi everyone, my name is More Mwendwa and you're listening to Living in Exhortation. In today's episode, we are going to talk about transformational leadership and what it entails. Now, the term transformational leader has been used on so many platforms and in so many forums. When introducing guest speakers in an event, when speaking of a particular politician, and even some motivational speakers, you'll find them calling themselves or mentioning that they are transformational leaders in their bios. I'm not here to throw shade, and I'm not here to discredit any of them. My main concern is if we really do understand the term and what it stands for. Okay? So, leadership does not have a specific one answer definition. Different researchers and authors who are authorities, especially in this subject, have given their own definitions of what they understand. In most cases, and in most definitions, the main aspect that seems to come up quite often is that leadership is based on one's influence. Therefore, it's safe to say that if you have no influence on the people within your environment, then you're not their leader in the first place. And when you call yourself a transformational leader, it demands a higher level of accountability. It is not an easy title to live by. And for you to identify one, or to identify a transformational leader, there's 4 specific pillars that you need to look out for or to identify in order to see and to realize you are that you are a transformational leader, or the person who's leading you is a transformational leader. One is idealized influence. Okay, so these kinds of leaders are found to be people whom the society looks forward to associate themselves with. They are individuals whom people feel they trust, aspire to be, and emulate. They reflect the ideals of who people would like their children to become. These are the kind of people, for example, you'll hear either at your workplace or in an estate or in church, you'll hear someone say, I would like to identify with such a person, or I'd like my son to follow in the footsteps of this and this person, or I'd like my daughter to grow up to become like this person. Yeah, idealized influence. And then secondly, we also have inspirational motivation. What does this mean? This is a person who is able to paint a picture of their own vision with you in it. So more importantly, the same vision not only inspires you to achieve the bigger picture, but also stirs you up and helps you accomplish your own personal goals by fulfilling it. You'll find that these leaders always have a way to make one feel important as an individual in the whole process. So in this case is where you'll find as you accomplish the bigger vision set by this kind of leader, you are also accomplishing your own personal vision within it. And they are so good at painting a picture of the kind of vision they aspire to achieve collectively. And with this, you'll find that they ensure that what needs to be done You are part and parcel of it. Okay? They never leave you behind. Then we also have intellectual stimulation. Transformational leaders have a keen eye in challenging people into critical thinking. They are the kind of people who, when you bring to them a problem, they will counter it by asking you questions. Not necessarily to intimidate you, but to guide you into coming up with a solution. Okay? So these are the kind of leaders who ask uh, their employees or colleagues for every problem they come up with or they come to them with. They should have at least 3 probable solutions which they would like to consult in order to know what is the best action to take. Okay? Also, they understand how to maintain individualized consideration. You might be asking yourself, what does this mean? Well, transformational leaders tend not to generalize a group of people who work for them. They take a keen interest in each and every employee or colleague in their firm or environment. Okay. So basically, these are the people who really want to know who you are. Okay, and this starts by knowing your name. Now, in some corporations, it is nearly impossible for leaders to know each and every person's name and what they do there, or what they actually uh, are working at or are working on. But nevertheless, this kind of leader will always want to know one story. They'll take an honest interest in your well-being. So these are the kind of people when you meet them, you'll find them asking you, what department do you work in? Um, are you okay? Are you finding any challenge in the workload at the office? Are there improvements that you can suggest to make work easier? Do you have a family? Is there any upcoming event that you're looking forward to attend? What does your son do? What does your daughter do? When is your daughter's musical contest coming up? When is your son's football final being played? You know, they want to have a keen interest not only on the aspect of your work, but also you as a human being. Yeah. Maybe you've talked to them about a health problem that you have, let's say a back pain. They'll want to find out is what specifically have you done in regards to going to taking time off and going to be to the doctor to check out that back pain. Yeah, they look forward not only in the growth of your career but holistic growth, so physical, emotional, and spiritual. It is the little things that we do, the things that we remember and take note of in other human beings that show them that we care. Someone once shared with me something very interesting that I would also like to share with you. A former CEO of theirs that he once worked for used to keep tabs of his employees' birthdays. What he used to do is that when it was your birthday, he would schedule for 1 hour for a 1 hour meeting, uh, just to have a friendly chat on a one-on-one basis, and he would always love to know what are you up to outside of your working hours, or what do you do? What's your hobby? What are you looking forward to do on your birthday? Are there personal goals that you have set for yourself to achieve within the next 1 year? on this uh, specific question on the goals that you'd like to achieve, once you tell him on that day what you'd like to achieve, he'll write it down and keep you accountable, especially on your next birthday. Once you have a sit down with him again, he'll ask you of your progress of what you've achieved of that specific goal that you had told him that you want to go ahead and achieve. I found that's really awesome. That's someone who is looking forward to see you grow. Yeah, on a personal level. And I want to ask, have you noticed any of these pillars in your supervisor, your director, yourself? Are there examples that come in mind when you talk about a transformational leader? For me, there are two of them. One is the late Bob Collymore. I did not know him on a personal level, but just from seeing him from afar, I could see a transformational leader. He was the former CEO of Safaricom. Not only did he associate himself with all of the four pillars, but he built a legacy that people still remember. And to this day, not only because of the success of Safaricom when he was at the helm, but most importantly, he treated people who worked with him and the stakeholders of the organization very, very well. He showed his consideration for individuals. He also had an aura, a presence, an idealized influence in which people always looked forward to associate with him. He always looked for ways on how to connect with people, especially from different backgrounds. I never really saw him discriminate. He was just a people's people. You know what I mean? And he learned from them. He tried to learn from them and be part of their culture. I believe that is one of the ways he became so popular with Kenyans, especially during his time in charge at Safaricom. The second person I think about is my former employer. The two pillars that I saw in her that were actually evident was intellectual stimulation and individualized consideration. An example of individualized consideration was at one point she noticed that even though I had been working hard, there were no results to show for it at work. And also I seemed to be distracted from my work, excuse me, which was true because at the time I was juggling between work and school. And so I found that balancing act quite difficult. So she decided to have a one-on-one meeting with me and just to catch up and find out how I was doing on a personal level, find out the aspects of my work that I liked and those that I did not like, and also how I could be helped by the rest of my colleagues to improve on my efficiency and effectiveness on tasks at hand. I tell you, that gesture really lifted off a weight off my shoulders. And the fact that I realized that she cared enough to find out if I was alright and help me get back on track by pointing me in the right direction, that really boosted my confidence. So whether you're a CEO or a head of department, a principal in an institution, a community mobilizer, or even a manager, this is something that needs a personal reflection and analysis. It is not easy to accomplish all of these, especially the four pillars, as we indeed acknowledge that we are not flawless. We all have our failings, we all have our challenges, we all have our difficulties. This, however, is important to follow if we look forward to create a legacy among the people whose lives we have touched. Food for thought? I believe so. So I leave you at that. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Until next time, take care of yourselves and have a good one.